Well, let's get some analysis now with Ben Aris in Berlin. He's the editor-in-chief of BNE IntelliNews. Great to have you back with us, Ben. Let's talk about this ongoing ceasefire process. We know that talks were held in Miami last week. There were optimistic signs emerging from those talks, nothing concrete though. But we've heard now Vladimir Zelensky repeat his demands for US security guarantees. It does seem that the two sides are still quite some distance apart on some of those key issues. Update us on what you think of progress is being made in terms of that peace proposal.
You're exactly right that the talks have been going relatively well. The original 28-point plan that was thrashed out between Witkoff, the US envoy, and Dmitriev, the Russian envoy. But the whole thing is now come down to 2 points, and they have to come as a pair. The one is territories that Russia is insisting on the Ukrainian forces withdrawing completely from the 15% of Donetsk, one of the Donbass regions that it doesn't occupy. And that particular piece of the region contains Ukraine's defensive line, which is extremely heavy and formidable line of defenses that's stopping the Russians going and walking all the way up to the Dnipro River in the middle of the country, because beyond this defensive line, there's no big cities, it's just flat ground, there's nothing to defend. And the second point is security guarantees. And this is important for Ukraine because, Zelensky's thinking not just about the end of this war, but preventing the next one. And he needs some sort of backing from his allies, a security guarantee, a NATO Article 5-like guarantee, that if Russia reinvades after a ceasefire is called, that they will come to his aid. And by that, he's talking about Article 5, which means that American troops will come to Ukraine and fight shoulder to shoulder with the AFU. And these are the 2 points. They're very, very difficult to get. So everything else has gone relatively smoothly. But both Zelensky and Putin have dug their heels in, Putin on the territory thing and Zelensky on the security guarantee thing. And it's got stuck there. And they're trying to find a compromise. Lots of ideas have been floated, a free economic zone, a Korean-style DMZ, but neither side is prepared to back down from, what are pretty much maximalist positions.
And complicating matters was that apparent assassination of a Russian senior general in Moscow. Russian authorities are pointing the finger of blame at the Ukrainians. How significant was that attack, and what impact might that have on the peace process?
Well, it makes things more difficult because the temperature, the mood around the talks is poisoned by things like this. The Ukrainian special forces, what they're trying to do with this is take the war into Russia, because for most of the last 4 years, that life in Moscow has gone on as normal, that people don't even notice the war. There's a bit of food inflation, interest rates are too high, but push comes to shove, life is pretty normal. And Ukraine has changed that. The tactics since this summer is they have these long-range, powerful drones. They're now flying into Russia and taking out oil refineries and hurting Russia in the pocket. And these assassinations, this is the third one, is, they're targeting people, high-profile people who are involved in the war and assassinating them on the streets of Moscow in order to make the point that, this war is going to affect you. But I think, all said and done, it's not going to scupper the talks. It's not going to derail them. It's just the war as it goes on, it's becoming bloodier and more brutal, and thousands of Russians are dying on the front line every day. And now senior officials have to beef up their security because they've all become targets from assassination attempts by the special forces inside the Russian territory.
Okay, Ben Aris, really good to get your thoughts as always. Thank you.
My pleasure.